is up, my archmates of chaos? This is your kid, Rose Chaos, coming back with you the video and talking about public figures. Since this has been blowing up on my Twitter feed and stuff like that, and everything else in social media, I really wanted to talk about public figures and you know, image, and why I think image is very important. Because a corporation wants something that looks good to the masses. You know, whether you're an actor, model, rapper, sports players, they want something that's very marketable. That's not too out of the thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not. You know, I'm one of those kind of figures. I'm one of those kind of people that believe you should be able to change and evolve and do something different than the other people. That's not what I'm here to talk about. The reason why I think it's important for public figures to actually have a better image is because that's what they can sell to people. The point is, and this goes to influencers too. This pertains to posting political opinions. Now, I'm not saying you don't have a right to post any kind of political opinions. You have every right to do that and put it out there. But don't be mad if a company wants to cut you off or take you out or fire you for posting something that might be a little, a little divisive. Because, well, what is in style is progressiveness, first of all, and even before that, there's a huge legal system with that, and it makes sense. So don't be mad when you post some crazy stuff on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, not have you, political, or we'll talk about political topics. Understand that it could come back to bite you in the ass later on. So beware, that's exactly why that happens. And you're allowed to say whatever you want to say. Just remember that everyone's not going to see it the same thing. It doesn't matter really what you think or what your intent is. You can have the best intentions in the world for everybody, but just know that those same intentions might not catch everybody. People will see things differently. And it's with anything, to be real honest. You in your mind probably could say something's a joke or something is, for the betterment of the world or whatever have you. But it could get lost. The meaning could be lost by just the one person saying or pointing out that what you're doing is wrong. Because not everyone thinks the same. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter what you think or your intentions are. If you're going to work in any kind of entertainment industry, such as streaming, being a rapper, being a YouTuber, being an actor, hell, even being an athlete, you got to understand that you are being watched. A lot of people are watching you because people's kids, not just kids, but the younger generation will look up to you. You're being, if you have the power to influence people, hence the word influencer, people will crack down on you and look at everything you do. So, the reason I say be careful what you post, be careful what you say, be careful of upsetting the wrong people, because it will come back to bite you in the ass. Now, it goes for regular people too. If you have a regular job, let's just say you work at McDee's, and you post something that is very controversial in the normal standards, that McDonald's employer might let you go and fire you. Just saying. So I think it's important but it's more important, of course, when you're in an influential figure to change what you say and do. But you should try to do that in regular life if you're going to be a working person. If you're going to be a working person 24/7. You're gonna have to change to their image. You're gonna have to change to the corporate's image of what they want you to be. You cannot, you realistically cannot be your 100% true, authentic self, especially in a working environment, especially in the public eye, and especially 100% without a shadow of a doubt being a public figure. Being a public figure is even worse because people look at everything you do. They look at your life. Your life is no longer private the minute you become a public figure. The minute you become an influencer. The minute, if you even get semi-famous, you know. And I didn't know this when I was a Twitch streamer. When I was a Twitch streamer, I got at least close to it. But now I understand. Now, things are hitting me. I'm older, experienced. I'm 31. And experienced and understand. Oh, now I get it. I understand why there was a crackdown on me when I was a Twitch streamer on some of the stuff I've said. I get why now. I understand it. Being a grown, maturing, high vibrations adult, I understand why. Okay, maybe what I said 5 or 6 or 7 years was not good. And I worked to evolve and change and show people I've evolved, that I got with the times. I'm evolved now. I'm an evolved person. For me, it has nothing to do with being political. It has everything to do with evolution, you know. Now, I will say when you're young and experienced, you don't know any better. When you're young and experienced, you know why they call it young and dumb? They call it young and dumb for the reason why it's called young and dumb. You don't have no experience. And without that experience, you ain't gonna understand how the rule. You're not gonna understand the know-how and the rules. So the point is, the reason why I believe image is important for public figures is because a lot of people look up to them. You know, not just only the younger people, but corporations pay these people to advertise their clothing brands. And if they're like gaming YouTubers like PewDiePie, Corey Kenshin, they got gaming companies paying them to play their games. They're getting paid by corporations, so I can understand some things. Now, granted, I'm not the biggest fan of capitalism, but I understand why you had to have a cleaner image and stuff like that, because you gotta appeal to a bigger audience than the small audience. A small audience, you can have that for yourself, but just know that you're never get to the higher social status of being a public figure if you keep the small audience. You're gonna have to clean up a little bit of your act, you know. And this comes from a guy who grew up as a kid, you know, watching some South Park, listening to Marilyn Manson's music and stuff like that. I understand the value of going out your way to be shocking and do shock value stuff. I mean, when I was a young streamer, you know, and when I did music, I would do shit for shock value. But growing up and understanding that doing things for shock value when you're older looks tacky. It doesn't look good for corporations. It doesn't. So, you know, I calm down and chill down. But it's not just, I'm just saying, it's like, that's the thing. It's the fact, my argument is saying that if you want to get somewhere, be a public figure, and be, you know, whether you're an influencer, actor, rapper, athlete, or anything like that, if you're being a watched person, a person who don't mind being watched by the whole public, just understand that you might have to change some of the language. You're going to have to censor some of the language so corporations can give you, you know, can keep you on. Because when they make the money, you make the money. And again, this is just why my new, you know, working man mindset that kick in, you know. I've developed a new appreciation over time of you know, some corporation stuff. Granted, I'm not like the biggest fan of everything a corporation does, but I understand why when it comes to image and being a clean image. And I'm not talking about you have to be completely squeaky clean like Disney Channel unless you work for Disney Channel. But I can understand why, you know, some streamers get banned. I can understand why some YouTubers get banned. I can see why some actors and actresses get canceled to some degree. Now, I think some people are being a little oversensitive. I'm not going to say that everyone's wrong, but it's just there's a way to word something where it does not sound like you're saying something that's just straight ignorant. There's a way to, finesse people to your argument without coming off as just an ignorant person. So the point I'm trying to say is that public figures are responsible for how they're portrayed in the public eye. And what I would do if I was a public figure, and I had the kind of money, I would be hiring a PR guy to keep your tweets out of trouble, to keep everything you say off and on the internet, out of the public sphere. Because when you become a public figure, it's not just your tweets and your Facebook posts or TikTok posts or whatever have you. Even your real life actions could come and bite you in the ass pretty hard. So the point I'm trying to get with is, yes, I believe public figures are responsible for the stuff that they say, and responsible if they get hit with the consequences, because you choose to put that out there. You have the freedom to do it, but just know that corporations, if they're feeling that you're not the image they want you to be, they have every right to let you go. It's just like with, let's put it this way, it's like with modeling and acting, or or even being a rapper. If you don't fit a certain image in what you're trying to get into, they're not going to want you as part of their team. And corporations have the right to do that. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. So you will have to change some of the things you say, or at least don't say very much, don't talk very much. It goes to the whole thing that people don't know how dumb you are until you speak. And this is coming from a rookie who was a Twitch streamer, said a lot of pretty messed up stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I'm slamming my own self. I'm beating my own self with this, because I do need to do that. I need to call it out for what it is. Being older and experienced, I understand. I was one of those kind of people that said some pretty dumb stuff. But growing up and being older, I understand. That if you're going to be a public figure, there's going to be some sacrifices you're going to have to make, and one of them's going to be just watch what you post, don't say very much, don't get into no trouble, don't do too much, and may the crystal be with you. If you choose to be a public figure, I just follow my advice, hire a PR guy, keep that image clean.